Hi everyone, it's Julie from Camelia Crafts Designs. Today I'm going to be showing you how to make these two cute little mini journals or mini books. You can pop them in bigger junk journals, you can use them as little notebooks. They're perfect for gifts. Some of mine are going to be teacher gifts for the end of this year. They are both made exactly the same. They are both made from one sheet of paper. They are obviously embellished with other bits. That one's made from a 6x6 and it measures, and I made this one from just some old paper I weren't right keen on. That's 2 1/4 by 3, and this one is 4 in height by 3 1/8. So how cute are they? Right, I've made a different closure on both of them. This one's ever so simple. I've just tied some seam binding around. It's a good staple way of closing a journal there, isn't it? I didn't want to stick anything to that front cover because it was so gorgeous. So minimal embellishment. I've just let the paper speak for itself. I just put a little butterfly rub on there. I tucked a few little tags in front just because I could. So it's got a pocket at the top with a journal card in. This paper I've used on this one is House of Roses by Stamperia, or Stamperia. I think I say it wrong. Inside we've got a side pocket. Da-da-da. Again, it's the journal card, and it is just one sheet folded and scored. No waste from the one sheet. At the back I've just popped a little pocket there. I've used a die, but it's a simple pocket. I'm just in a mode where I need to use my dies more. And again, I've just popped a couple of little bits and bobs in there. I've used some papers, random, some are old digitals, some are from notebooks. I don't think that one had any tea dyed in, but yeah, it's just a little cutie notebook. We've got another pocket up there with another tag, and we have one more here on the back. Again, just a little journal card tucked in. So that's that. I'll quickly show you the 6x6. Very similar, only I've done a slightly different closure. We've got a teeny tiny little tag there, and all of these embellishments I've done, I've not used tools. I use my hole punch to put an eyelet in there, but you don't have to. I even made that little dangle without tools. I just couldn't be bothered to get them out. So I've got a little tag there. This is the closure, it's Velcro. And the way I've done it gave me that extra little pocket on the front, because that paper, it was just same all over. Got a few beads there. It's got this one. I did this pocket slightly different. I'll show you. You can choose this when you put it together. Instead of wrapping it over and making the pocket internal, I just folded it in and made a little side one there, because this one was so small I wasn't sure if I'd be able to, tuck something in. I would have. And this one I've just used some scraps of tea dyed paper. There we go. Again, I've used a teeny tiny die to make a little pocket, and I've just put that in. You can journal on it, do what you want. And again, we've got 2 tags at the top there, and if you turn it over to back, I've got that one there. So it's got 1, 2, 3, 4 places to tuck a tag. You add that, you've got 5. You do this kind of closure, you've got 6, all in a teeny tiny little package. So right, I'll start by showing you how it needs to be folded. Just let me put bits back on. You know me, if I don't put bits back, I shall lose them. So you can make this with, I've said I've made mine from a 6x6 sheet of paper because that's the size they come in paper pads, and one from an 8x8. You could make them from any size. You can adapt this. Once you've made one, you'll know how to adapt it. I promise. Right, I've got this piece here. Again, it's not a 6x6, but this piece is 6 inches by 12, so I could cut that in half and make 2 tiny ones. But what I'm going to do first is make one from an 8x8 sheet, because I think it's a little bit easier to see how it is folded. Right, so I'm going to pick one from this here. The other thing, if you make it with these Stamperia pads, the 8x8 one, if you've got the set of 6 journal cards, they fit perfectly. Yeah, without even having to cut them down. So if you wanted a quick little project for someone and you happen to have a Stamperia pad in, or you manage to get a cheap one off Amazon, which is where I get most of mine from. I don't often get the new release ones, I just look for what's going cheap on Amazon. Right, oh look at those, I've got a load of them cut out somewhere in a packet. Can I find them? Can I find them? But when I do, I shall be adding them to these. Right, I think I want to go with this. I like this. I made a journal in this. A little one sheet wonder with the 12x12 page. And that is so pretty. I want to go with that page. So, if we've got we should have time, I'll do a 6x6 one. Right, so that's 8x8. Now, first thing we need to do is cut it in half horizontally. Use your paper trimmer if you've got one. Turn around, find yours if you've got one. If you don't have a paper trimmer, just measure it and cut it. So it is the kind of project this where you could do it without any fancy tools whatsoever. But it's a bit like if you've got to use them. Now, I always check because they're not always perfectly 6x6, these paper pads. So I'm just, or perfectly 8x8. Or sometimes my chopping's not right. That needs just a little bit trimming off. Yeah, because I want these both to be exactly the same size. It's important for this. Right. I mean, just now as I'm about to make it, I'm thinking, could you do it with 2 letter size or A4 sheets of paper? You probably could. You could definitely make it with 12x12. Right, I'm going to get my scoreboard out as well. Now, decide which way round you want your papers. Now, I think I'm going to use... they're just the same really, aren't they? I don't think I'm going to use that one with the stripe. I want that one on the inside. So, should I mention, it's perfect for single-sided papers, these as well, because you will only see one of the sides. So that's the side I'm going to have. And what I want to do is I'm going to score from the right hand edge. I'm going to score, and I want to score in, was it 2 inches? Do you know, I've waffled that much. I've waffled that much, I forgot. Now the score is the width of that pocket. Is it 2? No, it's not. It's 1 3/4. So I want to score 1 3/4 from the right hand edge. I'm just going to turn it upside down to do that. And then I don't have to get my big chompy scoreboard out. So that, and that again. Score 1 3/4 from that edge. And that's it for scoring. Now the next thing we want to do is take both pieces, turn them over to the sides, the inside, the side you're not going to use, and I'm just going to ink this fold line. It's not necessary to ink the fold line, I'm just doing it so that you can see it when I do this next bit. That's only, I mean, I could have made one out of cream cardstock, but I would have never used it. Oh, that's very dark, isn't it? Gone a bit mad with ink on that one, missus. Yeah, it's because, yeah, heavy-handed today, aren't you? Yeah. Right, so that's the inside, that's the side we're not going to see. And what I want to do is fold over just short of the score line. Sometimes, you know, when I'm using a busy paper, even if I'm not doing it for the video, I will ink that score line just so I can see where it is. So do it with both of them. There we go. I'll give that one a crease. Right. Next thing, open them both up so we've got the side we don't want to see. Now turn it over to the side you do want to see. That's my front. And I've got to decide which I want to have showing. Now, either that or that will be the front cover. And I'm looking at them and I like that one best. I just do. So that's my front cover. I'm going to fold that over to make a pocket, fold that in half, and that really is the size of my little journal. But now I want to make the other two pockets, and I'm going to grab this piece, yeah, front side up. I'm going to tuck that under there, and I'm going to fold that one over. Are we following? I hope so. And when I fold it in half, that is my journal. It's done. I've just got to glue it and put little notches in, and I'll have a pocket there. I'll have a pocket there. I'll have a pocket there, and there will be a pocket there. You could fold that over and have the pocket like that on the back, but I like to have that little internal pocket. You will notice that part of this pocket is going to be shared by the top tag and the side tag, but I don't find that an issue because the decoration on the back tag is going to be this way, and the decoration on that one I put the other way. So it's just the two flat sides of both the tags tucking in. Yeah, I've not found that to be an issue. Right, gluing it. Before I do any more bowl folding, what's a bowl folder? Bone folding, I'm going to glue this pocket, and I'm going to show you how to make sure this is not going to buckle and warp. Because whenever you have two pieces of paper and you fold them like that, the outer piece of paper does end up shorter than the inside bit. It's the rules. It's the rules of the universe. I do not have the vocabulary at the minute to explain why, but you know it. You'll have had it. It will have happened to you. So I'm going to glue this first. Oh, before I glue, I'll just put a little notch in. If you put in little notches in, I don't want me 1 1/4 punch. I want a bigger one than that. I've got my 1 3/4 punch. I'm going to put a little notch in there. Whee. Didn't need a wee, but it got one. Right, just make sure everything's lined up nicely before I glue that down. It's just so hard to see when your head's not above it. I know I say it all the time lately. So I'm just going to glue along there and along there. And I can't, I've got to turn it so I can see. That's better. Whee, and a little glue line. Go on. Okay. Not too much, not too little. And I'm going to press that down. I'm using my art glitter, dries clear glue because it dries quick. And then I can crack on with the next bit of project. Just checking everything's still nice and lined up. Yeah, that's good enough. We're not looking for perfection, but we don't want it to look like kids have made it, do we? Right, so now that's glued. I'm going to turn it completely over. And I'm going to put a few more notches in. I'm going to put a notch there for that back pocket. I wish if I were left-handed I wouldn't have to keep spinning project around like this. So that's that one on the back. I will do my top notches before I put it together. I'm going to put one in the front there. I mean, even I have to keep putting it back as a journal to know what to do next. Then I'm going to put a notch there. I think I might have got one of them upside down at some point. I don't know. Faffed about with it too much, didn't I? It's a very all over pattern. And a notch there. So you will see you've got that there halfway down. That doesn't bother me. I'm not going to cut it off because it will make this pocket here smaller. You could cut that off and glue it if you're if you're a neat freak. If things like that bother you, it doesn't bother me. The other option is you could take a bit of scrap card. I've got a bit of tea dyed here, and you could just glue a little bit to that back piece. Yeah, whatever. If it bothers you, fix it. If it doesn't, leave it. Right, the next thing I'm going to glue is this back piece. So I want this book to be nice and unbuckled and lovely when it's closed. So I'm just going to fold that back, and I'm just going to put glue along this flap. Not quite to the edge, because we've got this gap. That gap, again, it is by design, because it allows you to put something in a lot easier, I think. I just think it does. It don't bother me. And this is because your outside piece of paper is folding around the inside, and it has further to go, so it stops a little bit short. Right. Ooh. Sometimes that happens when they come off paper pad, and that's what's happened there. So I'm just going to glue that while I'm at the gluing bit. Oh, stop being a pain, glue. Come out. You've got one job and you're not going to do it. Gen Z glue. Some of you'll get that, some of you won't. Oh, dear. I've got two Zen G. No, I haven't. I've got two Gen Z children. Thump. So there, glue, press it down. There you go. Just be careful at this point that you've not glued that gap and you've not glued that gap there. We just want that glued down. You can see mine's not perfect there, but it's good enough. So we've just about got the bones of the journal there, haven't we? I'm going to trust that glue. Look, it even opens all that way at a minute. Whee! Right. To make those top pockets, we need to seal the bottom. And I'll show you why I've left it till now. Pop your inside on your desk, and that's your outside. And when you put this flat, you can see that one side's bigger than the other. It is. So I'm just going to scooch it up towards its spine. There you go. We've made a sort of little crease. Disappears when we fold the book, comes back when we open it. But we're going to put some glue on now along that bottom edge on the front and the back. Open it up, do it however you want so that you can see. I've opened it up into this little box shape. I don't know if you can see. There. I have to put my wrist on the table when I'm doing glue these days, or I get a wobble on. There you go. So I'm going to press that down. This is the outside of my book, which is important at this stage. Press, press. Again, we've got that. Can you see it? And by doing it like this, we get that little bit of buckling and warping. Where we want it, we're going to use it to our advantage, rather than have it mess our project up. Just nip it up with your nails if need be. There you go. Slide over with your bone folder. The thicker your paper is, the harder this will be. Mine's 190 GSM, which is blah, in pounds. I'm not going to give you the pound equivalent because someone always takes issue with pound equivalent. It's not an exact thing. Right, there we go. So it's good when it's closed. It's good when it's opened. No buckling. You'll see that bagging out, but we're going to sew that, and that will fix that problem. We're going to sew it with wax linen thread when we put our pages in. So that is the bones of our journal. Now the next thing I'm going to do is sew some papers in. So I just grab some random scrap paper. Got that. What else we got? I've got a box full of it. Sorry if that's a bit shiny. Yeah, I am quite organised really. I'm organised in a disorganised fashion, that's me. I'll use a bit of that. That looks good. That looks good. And, oh, I've got some, I don't want anything too dark and grungy. I'm going to take that back out because it's a light, delicate little project. Oh, that's a book page, that. You know, the end pages, what have got nothing on them. I'll save those in my little box of random bits of plain paper. Oh, got some stripy pages. Oh, I like that. I like those edges, but I do have a punch that does that, so I could make my own. Oh, that's nice. I'll put one in with the writing going, with the stripes, the lines going the incorrect way. I've got, yeah, I don't know. Sometimes there's a disconnect between my brain and mouth. I think one thing and something totally different comes out of my mouth. Hecky thump. Right, so how I make the pages. Again, that'll do. That's one page. I'm going to put about 5 in. That's going to be another, but it's obviously too big. I like the ripping on the edge look, so I'm going to do it. Oh, I like that there. I'll pop that there. I'm going to rip along that line, I know that. And I shall... I've done this loads of times on camera, it's not... Sometimes I use my scissors, I can't be bothered to rip now. It's too much like our work. So I'm just going to cut that one with scissors, just because I can. That's 1 piece, 2 piece. This is the grungiest I'm going to go in this book. I'm just going to fold that in half. Yeah, that's fine. And I'm going to rip it. Fold and rip, use your ruler and rip. I would have had a nervous breakdown about 5 years ago at thought of doing this, when I used to make me perfect little cards and mini albums. There's no wrong with that. I've just gone a different direction now, haven't I? No, it's not too grungy. I like it. So I'm just going to fold that over. I'm going to fold it like so. You don't have to have both sides the exact same when you're folding bits over. I don't want to put any flippy flaps on pages. It's not that kind of little journal, this. Desks, horrendous already. How long have I been crafting? Oh God, 20 minutes. I didn't know I've been at it that long. But there's been a lot of waffle, hasn't there? So, I've got myself 5 pages and I'm just going to randomly put them together. I think I want that at the front. Then I'll have that. I think I've lost one as well. That's me all over. I'm going to put that one there. It's 2 stripy pages together. It breaks some kind of, I don't know, cosmic rule, I think. It really does. And I think I want 1 plain page made up from this book page. Will that be perfect folded over? Nearly, but not quite. But yeah, it'll do. So I'm just going to get my ruler and tear for the height. When when I'm in a very finicky, faffy mood and I'm not wanting to do it quick for camera, I will sort through that box and find all the pages that are already the exact right size. And you know how I've just said I'm not going to do any flips and flaps? I've decided I want to do one, just because I can. There you go, so I folded that the correct width, and then I'm going to put a little flap in. There you go, 1 flap. Uno flappo. And, oh, I want it there on the outside. Look, I just love that. There's something about that look of all the layered bits of paper, isn't there? That even when you just put in a plain little signature in, it adds something. So that's that. Now, me sewing in, I'll show it you. If I can find end. Where's end? There it is. Golly, is it going to be one of them days? I've swapped my teeny tiny pincushion that I've had for years and it's absolutely filthy. It's been naturally tea stained a good few times when I've spilt coffee and tea on it. Right, I'm going to cut a piece of string. They say you want 2.5 times the height to do it, but I want to then put some dingly dangly bits on, so I'm just going to go mad and cut a huge chunk of string, far more than I will need. Also, it will help it not come unthreaded for me, because I'm a nightmare with that. If it can go wrong, it will. Some days. I think we might be having a little bit of one of them days. Oh, don't let it get me down, just crack on. I used to like that when I drove. You never get lost, you just find new places. Yeah. Right, I've lined all my pages up. In the middle, I've got 2 lined pages together, but because they're going opposite way, I think the galaxy will forgive us. And I've got this poke tool, and I'm just going to poke around the middle. I'm not using any fancy gadgets for this. It's such a small project. It'll just add to time, won't it? And what do I say these days? I can't be bothered to get them out. So I've got my needle pre-threaded. Just a second ago, you saw it with your own eyes. So I'm going to go in the middle. I did come up with a new way of binding on a video recently, but I've forgotten it. Yeah, I have. I remember comments when I did it, people were like, wow, that's a brilliant way, I'm going to use that from now on. Well, I'm not, because I forgot I did it. So I'm back to old way. In the middle, out through bottom or top. Mind your eyes when you pull the needle. Especially when you're filming. Because normally the needle will go up here towards you. But when I'm filming, I do it slightly towards me. Got rather close to my eye then. So back out the top. And then back in the middle. Trying not to go through the thread, but world won't end if it does. It can be fixed. Whee! And we want it to come up. Yeah, there. This is called your 3/0 pamphlet stitch. Make sure it's all nice and tight, not too tight. We don't want paper straining and ripping, but then again we don't want it to come unravelled. The only thing coming unravelled on this video is me, maybe. And I just like to tie it once when I'm ow, I've just stabbed my hand. I've stabbed the palm of my hand. So like I said, be careful with that needle. I'm terrible. I might use hot glue next week, see if I can burn myself. So I'm just going to cut those off pretty long because I'm going to stick some beads and bojangles on them. Bojangles and... Oh, we missed that page. That's why I was one short. I left that one out. Poor page. Do you know what? I don't think it fit. Oh, it didn't. There it is. Oh, for it. Just rewind, delete what I've just said because I don't know what I'm saying. Right. So that's basically your little journal. Oh, even that's going. So do you remember what I said? If you're using the Stamperia papers, the little bits and bobs, the cards that come with them fit perfectly. So let's bring my Stamperia Rose Parfum pack. But I'm just going to have a sip of my coffee. Revive my son a little bit because, yeah, it's... Oh. Got my lovely keep warm mug. Keeps it warm for hours. I'm not trying to sell it yet, but it is available on Amazon. That weren't too blatant, were it? No, on a serious note, I got it when it were on offer for £7. No way would I pay the full price. It's not even listed on my Amazon storefront. I just buy most things from Amazon. That's me. Right. Shut whiffle waffling. Here we go. These cards. Can you just see the perfect size of those to be tucking in? I used to say that I talk like this when I've got a migraine coming on, but I don't feel like I've got a migraine coming on. I'm one of them people who get my words mixed up. I don't know, I think I might just be losing my mind. Right, I'm going to cut those up, and I'm not going to make you watch me cut those out on my trimmer. I will pause and I will be back, just like Arnold. And I'm back. So I've had a teeny tiny tidy up as well, and as you can see I still can't speak any better. There'll be people who've never seen me before thinking, why is this woman doing a YouTube video? I don't know. Right, I've cut these down, but I want to round the corners. Oh, I didn't cut them all just to show you. With this Stamperia set you can choose to cut around that coloured border, or you could cut further in if you need it to be smaller. I've chosen to cut around the coloured border. If they're a bit big I can always trim them a little bit. I do like to have rounded corners. They are less offensive. As wee. There you go. And 2 more, because I'll be using 4 of those in here. I'll use other little bits and bobs as well, but I'll definitely need 4. If I need the other 2 I'll cut them down as and when. Right, so 1 I'm going to pop in the front. You can put a tag on or not. I think I will. In fact, I might use one like this. Yeah, if I were to put a tag on that at the top, I'd cover up where it says Parfumery in it. In Parfumery, that's for Yorkshire, and it'd bother me. That one, not so much. So I'll pop that one in. And I want one again for the back here. So I'm going to use this one. Which way up does it go? that one. Yep, and then I can use these other two to tuck in here. Oh, but it's a tight fit. So I'm just going to grab my bone folder. You can either trim a bit off or try this first. Don't bust it open, but just run your bone folder gently along. It also helps open the pocket up. That fits in nicely now. And I may have to do the same here. We'll see. Oh, again, tight fit, so I'm just going to gently, not too viciously or heavy-handed, or you'll bust your pocket open. That's going to annoy me, so I'm going to trim a little bit off bottom. You can see that I've left that bottom one a little bit wide of that. That's better. That will please me. It's just the finicky little things, isn't it? Oh yeah, that fits in much better now. So we've got the journal, we've got 4 pockets filled. We need to decorate the front, and I want to put an extra little pocket there. And because I've got it out and I've just thrown my cutting plates on the floor, I'm going to use my little die cut machine. There we go, I've picked my cutting plate up off the floor. So yeah, I'm going to use this. It's just a basic little pocket, and I'm going to grab a scrap for this. Or a strip. Just going to move those big full ones out of the way. Yeah, that was the front page of one. Ooh, I wonder if I can get that little birdie in. Oh, that's going to be the cutest pocket, isn't it? Oh, it will just fit. Yeah, that should just fit. Will that fit in there? Yes, it will, so I don't have to cut my strip up. Ooh. So pop that in. Sure. We're going to miss a bit of his tail, but I can live with that, can you? Yeah, be right. We've got his face on and his feet. Just missing a bit of tail. It won't be good for a bird out in the wild. We'll have to take flight, but for a junk journal, it's not a problem. It's not real, it's just a puppet. Well, just a picture. Right, put your die cut machine away, kiddo. Right, oh yeah, these pockets, they come from a set and they don't cut along bottom. I don't know whether they're supposed to be, you can make little windows with them. I don't know if that was the intention. It were a cheap set I got off of AliExpress a long time ago. So link is dead and buried now, but you can still get them. They wasn't advertised to me as that. They were just nesting dies. That was, is it a happy accident? Have I ever used them like that? No. Will I? Maybe. I just don't know. So let's snip that off. There we go. I suppose I could extend the length of my pocket, couldn't I? Oh yeah, I could. In fact, I could. In fact, I'm gonna. I could then put something at the bottom, and I'll still have the oohs and ahs. The oohs and ahs. I'm just going to see if it's square. It's a little bit wonky donkey in it, so grab your baby trimmer, woman. I'm faffing now. This is a faff. It's not necessary to project. This is faff time. I've just straightened that up. Yes, I've just extended the depth of that pocket. I suppose we could have saved his tail if I'd known I were going to do that. Sorry, Mr. Birdie. Your tail is just no more. Now, ink if you want to ink. I'm not inking this project. And I think that is enough of a contrast to that to not need to. So I'm just going to glue it on. Yeah, we know who might not be happy that I'm not inking, but I'm sorry. Sometimes I just can't be bothered. It does add time, and if you're making these as a little mass make, like I'm doing some for the teacher gifts, they've only got one male teacher, so it's like, I might just make him one in a male. Yeah, in fact, no, I'm not going to, yeah, we keep getting told that we shouldn't buy into gender stereotypes. I'm going to give him a pink fluffy one. There you go, sorted. And it's all in name of progress, apparently. Right, so that's my little back pocket. I do have some more little tags already in my paper pad. There's a sheet of them out, if I'm not mistaken, and I could just cut those out and use them, or just make some. Well, I've got all them. Can I be bothered to cut them out at the minute? Not really. Ooh, I've got all these, you could use them. Ooh, they're the ones. I think, yeah, I can be bothered to cut a couple of those out. I've done it again, look, I'm ripping the papers, taking them out. I really don't like that when that happens. Use your trimmer, woman. I know I said I weren't going to make you watch me cut things out with trimmer, but I'm going to make you watch just a small amount of it. I want that, that and that. So, I'm just checking that these are printed straight before I come in cutting, because sometimes you have to make allowances for that. That's looking good. Swap to the baby trimmer. I suppose I could save that as a border, but you know it, don't you? I can't be bothered. And cut. And cut. It's taking a lot of concentration there. You know, I'm concentrating really hard when I go quiet. There we go. I'll do it sometimes and kids will say, "What's up, Mum? Is your brain buffering?" Yes, my brain is indeed buffering. It happens a lot. I think it's an age thing. And having too much in your head thing, isn't it? Whee. Yeah, I've not even addressed why I've been absent. I have been a bit poorly last week, so we've all been made up with it. We didn't do a test to find out if we got that disease, because I just don't want to know. We're still here. We're still kicking. But yeah, I had a couple of days in bed. Just binge watching TV, because I had no energy to do much else. Right, I'm just going to round these corners. Whee. So now all ideas I had before that are all buzzing around in my head. And yeah, I'm back. I'm on ball. So thank you for all your lovely messages, people wondering where on earth I were. You've got used to me now though, haven't you? I do tend to disappear for a week or so. When I've got anything on, I'm not the kind of person who will put some big dramatic post up telling you why I'm not there. If there's a real problem, you'll know. If I'm just off doing other things, that's where I am. Just off doing other things. Right. So, that is just so cute. I think I need to put 2 in. Love it. Love it. I mean, you could put another little pocket there. Look at that cutie little die I've got. Ooh, if I'd not put that notch in, I suppose I could still fit one in. But I'm not at the moment. We need to decorate the front. So on this one, what I'm going to do is I'm going to do it like, do you know the small book I showed you with the wraparound? I'm going to show you how I just made that little wraparound, because it does give you that extra little pocket on the front. That's why I've picked paper that's not too fancy. So grab another sheet of the paper. We're going to measure the width of the journal. I've not done one in an 8x8, I don't know. So that measures 6 1/4 inches. So it needs to go all the way around. Plus it needs a little bit of an overlap. So I'm going to make it 8 inches. So maybe that's a rule. Make it the width of the paper you've used. I don't know if that's a rule. I'll have to try it again on a 6x6 to let you know. So what have we got here? That was an 8x8. I could use a piece of that. But I'm looking for something that's going to look pretty going across the middle. On my little off-cutty one, I just grabbed this random piece. I don't know what happened to that. I just cut a piece of that off. That's all I used. Use any scraps you've got. Yeah. I've got one there ready to put together. This were a prototype with lots of little folds. So I am looking for a piece of paper to use. Ooh. Oh, it's such a pity that's too big, because we could make a big one with that on. No, it's not going to work though, is it? Right, 2 ticks. I'm going to grab another bag of scraps and we'll look through those. And I'm back. Right, yeah. I couldn't bring myself to cut into a full sheet, but if you've only got a full sheet, I'll cut into it and use some. But I've got lots of scraps and I'm going to make use of them. This is from the Orchids and Cats, I think. And it, look, it's perfect. I'm not going to use all 3, but I think I'm going to use those 2. Yeah, I like that. So, I'm going to cut it down to 8 inches. Because I don't need more than 8 inches. Oh, trimmers. You know when people are saying what's the best trimmer to get? Sometimes it just depends on what size of projects you make often. Because I've used 3 different sizes of trimmer now within this video. If you've got a huge desk, I would just have 1 trimmer. But I've got a teeny tiny desk. And I'm untidy, yeah, let's add that on. I've got a small desk and I'm an untidy person. So I'm going to cut that bit off. I want the trellis and the flowers. I don't want that bit. So let's cut that off. Is that looking straight? It's looking straight-ish. Straight as it needs to be. I'm just lining this up with the edge of the blade. I have a lot of hear from a lot of people who say they can't see where they're cutting on this. And I can. Look, I've cut it. Yeah, I've just look at the edge of the blade. That's where your paper's going to cut. And that's cut absolutely perfectly. So pop that away. Yeah, I do love this trimmer. It's my favourite trimmer so far. But it just don't fit on my desk all the time. Anyway, waffle on, waffle on. So, that... Oh, I like that as a closure. Shall I have it that way or that way? I don't really know. I'm going to have it that way, and then I'm going to pop some butterflies and things on. So, the closure. I butt it up to that edge, and I'm going to glue that edge, and then fold it around. I'm not gluing it all the way around because it will buckle over here. And then I want it to overlap there. If you don't want that overlap to be as big, you can cut a little bit more off. If you're okay with a H, with it being that size, you're okay. But I really like that. Yeah. So, on this, I know I've said I'm not inking anything. I'm just going to do a little bit of inking on the edge of this paper. Because I think it will work. Yeah, not heavily inked. I just like that little bit of a difference. So just a teeny tiny bit of inking. I'm going to leave my flap the size it is. And I'm just going to round these corners. Now you could get all fancy and use magnets on this, use a thicker bit of paper. I'm going to use my little Velcro fasteners because I like them. And if you've watched me before, you know my favourite ones are the branded Velcro thin clear fasteners. They are all linked in my description if you're after some. I get mine off Amazon or eBay, depending on where's the cheapest at the time. So, that, I really like that as a closure. And I'm just going to glue this front bit on using my art glitter. That looks straightish. I want to see those roses, so I'm going to glue it just there. Make sure that's nice and straight. It is. Then when I've just give that time to set, I'm just going to put a little bit of glue under that because I'm going to have it stuck at both sides so I can stick a tag in. Then we don't really have to do any more decorating on the front. The tag does it for us. So just short of the crease, which I'm struggling to see, so I'm just going to bend it back that way. There we go. And I'm going to put my glue on. You know, because I've not got my wrist balanced on the table. I'm very wobbly. So that's that. There we go. Then I'm going to get my Velcro fasteners. I have got everything supposedly organised on my temporary shelves behind me. They're just my drawers pulled out and I pile stuff on them. Yeah, that is how the packet comes. That's a new packet, 56 circles. I don't think they have any. They do have a code, 91614. I don't know if that'll help you find them, but they're called Thin Clear Fasteners and the Velcro brand. If I can get them for under £10 a pack, I'm happy. I've only ever bought 3 packs. This is the second pack I'm using, and I've got a third pack here. I bought them because they were cheap. They're on offer. And I want a fuzzy one. And I'm going to put my fuzzy one on here. There we go. And then I want the hooky one, as I call it, which is clear. And I'm going to attach that to my fuzzy one. And then I'm going to line this up nicely. I'm going to bring it out just a smidgen. And you see, so that my book, I've not got it closed tight, so that I can fit a few more little things in my book. Right, put those away before you lose them, missus, because you know what you like. If you don't put it straight away. Actually, I am getting much better at tidying up after videos. I do spend a little bit of time putting things where they belong. My craft room is getting tidier. It's been a bit of a mess for a while, because I've been crafting and running. Right, so that's that. I really like that. So I'm going to grab another one of those tags that we cut out, and I'll pop that behind there. They're probably now they're buried under all these extra scraps that I got out. Ooh, I've got this one. That one I didn't use. I like that. That's from House of Roses. They're my 3 favourite sets from Stamperia. House of Roses, Cats and Orchids and Rose Parfum, because they all go together. Now I'm thinking I want to use that one because that For You will stick out underneath, and maybe, no, I won't see all the bird. I'm liking that one. And I'm gonna cut rest of this out with my scissors because I can't even be bothered to get what's it at now? My trimmer. Now I'm trimming this in a little bit. I just want a little bit of the green around, just to make this a little bit smaller, so it'll fit nicely on that front bit. And I'll cut just under the For You. Then I'm going to round my corners. I love this corner rounder for its small one, although that didn't fit in properly. I need to look at the state of that, it's full. Really needs emptying. And I'll round bottoms just because I can. Right. Oh, that's the back, isn't it, for writing on? So that's what I'll have on front. I'm not impressed. I don't like front so much. Although, do you know, I do. Yeah, it's fine. It's fine. It's a good job, isn't it? Ooh, could have rose on. Leave it like that, woman. Stop faffing. Right, now on here, just check that works. Ta-da! I like it. I'm just going to put a few little bits and bobs. Now I've got these. These were some cutouts for Walnut collections. I don't use them that often because I'm not a huge fan of how thick and chunky they are. But if this is going to be a standalone project, I could put something. I think I might have a butterfly there. I wish that were a different colour. I don't know if there is a different colour butterfly. That sort of blends into the background a little bit, doesn't it? Oh yeah, that's better. We've got a blue one. Oh yeah, you can go there, mate. We like you. That's it. And then I'm going to call that decorated. Put them away. Yeah, you can peel the fronts off. They're just really thick. Really thick. Best idea I've come up with them is dangles. Punch a hole in them and make it a dangle. Right, so she's there. I'm not going to put anything on her. I'm going to glue that butterfly there. And then you can use him to open up. These are, I can't remember if these are self-adhesive. Some of them are, but I can never get the self-adhesive backing off. So I figure if I can't get it off, it's not falling off, is it? Put more glue on that bit. I've not glued that wing because I'm having the wing sticking out over there. I'm going to have him sort it right way. I'm just going to pull him off. I didn't mean to pull him off. I'm just going to unhook that just so I can press him down properly. And check he's got no glue seeping out. Now we're going to leave him alone and let the glue set while I do something with the top of these tags. Because we need to make these look pretty. Right, there we go. Oh, has he fell off? No, he hasn't fell off. Just behave, butterfly, behave. Stick. I think it's gone a bit wonky, but we'll be right. He'll be right. So, I'm just going to use my hole punch for these. I don't really want to put tabs on. And I'm going to put some seam binding and some eyelash trimming. Use whatever you've got. I like little bits of fancy frou-frou sticking out the top. I'm going to pop some eyelets in. I wouldn't like to... It's pretty sturdy, this card. You could get away without eyelets. I just like the look of them. I think they add something. So I've got a couple of little eyelet backs. And shall I go for coloured? I don't know. We've got pink and green. But the colours don't always match right well. Yeah, I'm going to use pink and green. Yeah. Be a rebel. Do something different for a change, woman. Oops. I'm not the kind of person. I don't want to jump out of my comfort zone constantly and challenge myself. I just can't be bothered. Whee. I'll do something different when I feel like doing something different. I won't do it just for what's sake. If I'm happy doing it, I'll keep doing it. Oh. Ooh. Life's too short to be uncomfortable. It's probably opposite to a lot of these inspirational quotes, that, innit? But hey ho, that's my plan. Right, I've got my little tub of my favourite... Oh, that's my mouse. You don't need to see my mouse, do you? My favourite tub of seam binding colours, because they go so well with my favourite. What's this? Oh, so that's dusty pink, that one. Yeah, I've already got some dusty pink open, and I'm going to put that in here with the green eyelet, and I'll grab a bit of seam binding. I might use some of them leaves that I saw hiding in that tub. I think I'm going to make this into a bow, because I don't have a bow on the front. So I've just tied it there. I haven't cut it off my roll yet. I find I waste less that way. That bow's far too big, so make it a bit smaller. Yeah, all my seam binding is from the craft cabin shop. Scrap, is it? Read it, woman, because you don't know what you're saying. Scrap, my scrap cabin shop. Hecky thump. Which, again, I'll have listed in the description. She is American, she's in America. But her prices for the range of things she's got are pretty reasonable. Right. So let's pop you in the back. I love that, just peeky poking out over the top now, don't you? Yeah. Put him back on. This is looking pretty. Put him in a bit further. I know he's poking, but there's poking and then there's like not even being tucked in, isn't there? There you go. That's better. That's better. And then on here, I've got some leaf trim. There it is. It's in a little organza bag. I think I might put some of that in. This other tag, you know. Where's the end of it? Sod's law that you're not going to find end, isn't it? And I could have put a little bit on there, couldn't I? It's tempting to just put a little bit on there, and I'm going to do it because I can. Cut it a bit further than you were going to, missus. I like that. There you go. There'll be people who don't like it, but do you know what? I do. So I'm going to glue that on. Then I don't know if I'm going to put any tags. I've just decided to glue a bit to my closure. Whee. Clip you. Yeah. So it just looks like it's disappearing over there. I'll tuck that leaf round. If you don't want to tuck round, I'll cut him off. I really will. I don't think I've got any glue on under it, actually. That might help it stay a little bit better. I'm just going to grab a little peg, if I have one handy. Not sure I have. No, I don't have one handy. So I'll hold it just for 2 ticks while that glues. I like that. Yeah, that's pretty. I might change that, you know. I don't like her. I wanted a bird. I like that much better. I'm going to put it in backwards. Yeah. I might change it to a different one. One never knows does one. That's stuck now. I like that. And yeah, that's another reason I've stopped tidying my desk completely, because quite often I'll have an idea to put something in something because it's hanging about on my desk. I don't get that idea, do I, if I've tidied up. Right, seam binding, where are you? There you are. Eyelash trim, I meant eyelash trim. I've got loads of offcuts through here, and I want a pinky one. No, I want a greeny one. I've got the green there, the pink there. I want some greeny eyelash trim. I hope I've got some. You'd think, seeing as I used to sell it on Etsy. But have I got green? Have I, heckers like, got green? There is no green in my offcut bin. Jeepers. So do you know what? I'm going to use some more of this, and I'll intertwine it with a little bit of pink eyelash trim. Or maybe white, or like that, yeah. So I've got a bit of seam binding, a bit of eyelash trim. I'm going to put them together, poke them through. I'm just going to cut a little bit off each. There we go. And then I'm going to tie it with a little bit of my wax linen thread. This is when I really do need a clip, and I have put my clips away. See, this is why you don't tidy up, because if you tidy up you can't find anything. So I'm going to do it like a man with no arms. I just want to wrap some wax linen thread around there and tie it in a knot. I'm going to refrain from using my teeth on camera. There we go, I managed to tie it. Then I'm going to tie it again, no bow required, I just like it raggedy and sticking up. Snippety snip. There we go, I like that. So we've got our bit of green and our bit of eyelash trim, even though we didn't have green eyelash trim. Oh, that's pretty. How long have I been going? Yeah, it's took me an awful long time to make this without waffling, hasn't it? It really has. Waffle City, but I like it. Oh, that's pretty. I just love the look of all that hanging out the top. Now, on this, I'm going to stick some beads. I am prepared with my bead tray to hand. This is just random beads from random places. Again, I get asked a lot where I get particular beads from. I am to clue off at time, because I've been building up this bead stash for many years before I even started doing YouTube, which then means I don't know where I got them from. They're not in their original packaging. When I need a top up, I tend to look on AliExpress, Temu, and Amazon. It depends how quick I need something as to where I then buy it from. Sometimes Amazon surprises me and things are a little bit cheaper than I were expecting. Well, I'm going to put a blue one on because it matches that bird and butterfly. Come back, blue one. I've seen you, you're hiding. You won't get away from me. The plastic ones tend to have bigger holes than the glass ones. That's just something I find. And then they'll thread on a bit easier. That's nice. I'm going to put one more on. I want a clear one. Woo! And then I'm just going to knot that. Depending on the size of the hole in my bead, I'll have to knot it 2 times. Maybe. No, that's got a small hole, that bead. And then I'm going to put some on my other little string. I want something with a slightly brighter pink, but I'm going to start with a little blue one. And then I'll go for a brighter pink one, but not too gaudy. And that's pretty pale still. I'm going to use it because I picked it up. And it might get really upset if I decide not to put it on. That's beads for you. That's a brighter pink. Yeah, I like that. Oh, that's a glass one. I hope its hole's big enough. Go on, you know you want to. I find this fiddlier and fiddlier as I get older, you know. Right, I'm just going to grab my poker tool. You can get special tools called bead reamers for doing this, but that's just one more tool to lose, isn't it? Let's see if that worked. I'm going to have to cut the end off my thread now because it's got frayed. I like to do it at an angle. If I'm really struggling, I'll pop a bit of glue on that so it don't fray. That's it, done it. But I only want to put a couple more beads on. And I want a green one on there, a little green one, and then perhaps a clear one, and then I'm done. What we got, I mean, you can add buttons, anything you want. There'll be someone screaming at me that there's a green one somewhere, won't there? Haha, gotcha. If you fit on, I'll be amazed. Lost you now. Oh, I did it. It's gone through. Oh, go on. You know you want to. It's just poking out. This is hard to do with my sausage fingers. But I will do it. I'll do it if it kills me. Hi, baby. Child home. I'm not going to stop videoing, though, because I've nearly finished. Poke your bead. See if that helps. Also, do you know, because I haven't done anything when I don't feel too well, my nails have grown a bit longer. I've got very soft, brittle nails. They break so easily, but when I've not done anything, they don't break. And I'm going to put one more bead on because I like to end with a clear bead. It's not a rule. It's just what I like to do. And I'm going to knot it so that my bead strings, one is longer than the other. Now, if you just want to pop this into the pocket of a junk journal, you might not want to go to the trouble of this. But when you're doing it as a gift, I think it's a nice little touch just to fancy it up a little bit. It's the little touches, isn't it, that make all the difference. Right, grab the lid off your beads, woman. If you don't want any more beads now. Ooh, I'll tell you what you might want, though, a bulb pin. Have you got one hanging about? There's a black one. Ooh, what's that? What on earth is that? Is that a creation or just something that's happened? It's just something that's happened. Could have been a creation. It was an accidental creation. And I'm going to grab some kind of charm. Ooh, I'm going to grab a piece of chain. Just a random. They're actually called chain extenders. You buy them in little sections like that. Or I save them off things. You know, like junk. I don't do it so much now because I've got such a lot. I used to buy junk jewellery, or one at charity shops used to save me all their broken pieces. So I've got my bulb pin. I'm just going to go through that. I'm going to grab a charm. I think a butterfly might be appropriate on this one again, or a bird. I'll use a butterfly because that's the pack I've grabbed. And let's pick one. Oh, I've got some, I never thought of that. I've got some of those where you can thread. I could have put butterflies on the end there. Oh, that would have been so nice, but I've not done it. So, hey-ho. We're looking for a butterfly charm. Oh, a lot of these are them beads. How did I not know I had all these? Because I've got a brain like a leaky sieve, I think. Right. Ooh, I've just spied a dragonfly. I'm like a kid, aren't I? Ooh, shiny things. Oh, I think I want a dragonfly, yeah. Sorry, butterfly, you've been sacked. You're fired. Oh, I feel like Alan Sugar. I do not feel like Mr. Trump. Was that the American version of The Apprentice? What, Alan Sugar, Donald Trump on it? I don't know. Why have I put chain on? I know why I've put chain on. There is a reason why I've put chain on. I just forgot it then for a minute. Talking about Alan Sugar and Donald Trump. Right, I'm just going to hook that into the fluffy stuff at the top of that tag. I'm going to fasten it, if I can, for fluffy stuff. But all you can see is my sausage fingers here, not what I'm doing. There you go. And there we have it. Now you want other way around, woman. Put the top at the top and the bottom at the bottom. There you go. So I've just got the bulb pin in. I've got a bit of chain on for, I don't know what reason. I put chain on my other one. Let's bring it back. Oh, I just remembered why I put chain on. You silly woman. I threaded the chain through the hole. This one, I've just hooked it on. There were no real need to use the chain there, were there? Hang on then. Let's do something different. You know how I said I was going to show you a 6x6 one? I think you may have realised that's not going to happen. That's not going to happen at all. But what I will do, you will have seen it now already, you know. It's like time travel again. It blows my brain. I will put the measurements up on the screen for where to score if you're doing it 6x6. Right, I'm going to put that in there. I'm going to put an eyelet in there because I think that's going to look good. I'm just going to use a clear one. And yeah, I'll show you what point of that chain is. That's terrible, that. I forgot on earth what I were doing. No, no, it isn't. I often do it. I'm like, why am I using this chain? I know there's a reason, but I do not know what that reason is. Yeah, there is a reason. It's to do a dangle without tools. It's a tool-free dangle. Like that one. That one happened to have a little love art on because that extender chain was cut off an old necklace. This extender chain is just one that you buy. So here's the deal. You hook you hook one end of the chain onto the bulb clip. You hook your charm onto the bulb clip. Then you thread your chain through your eyelet and then you hook it onto the bulb clip again. So you've not had to use any tools and no jump rings, or there's no faffing involved. And there we go. You've got your dangle. Heck, you thump, that took some doing, woman. There we go. Turn him over. And we've got the dragonfly in the foliage. I quite like this one. I think I like it better than that one. The one that I did with the seam binding wrapped round, which I will find. It'll be buried somewhere on my desk now. So you've seen how to make it with an 8x8 paper. I will put measurements. The only difference will be where you do that score, your side score. I will show you inside again just quickly. So we have there. I've not done a lot of decorating inside. Put a few bits there. And yeah, that is that would make such a pretty little gift for someone, wouldn't it? I really like that. So yeah, thank you for watching. Measurements, I will... How many times have I said this now? For the 6x6. I may do a separate video doing one with 12x12 because we can go to town with a lot more pockets and doing a lot more embellishments on that. So yeah, thank you so much for watching. Sit down now and have a rest after listening to all that. Maybe you already are. But I'm off for a cup of tea myself now. So I will also link up here. You will see at the moment some links to some other videos where I do one sheet wonders. You'll see I've used the Stamperia papers again, but in a totally different way. So thank you for watching. See you next time. Bye.